we need to review completing the square. Now, yesterday, come on. We're going to complete the square. And yesterday we learned about perfect squares. So if I had x squared, x plus 6 squared, that's going to turn into x squared plus 12x plus 36. And the pattern we learned was, if you took the middle number and cut it in half, come on, Jalen, go back to your seat, to your normal seat. So if I take 12 and cut it in half, and I square it, I'll get 36. And that happens every single time you have a perfect square. But what if we had something that was not quite a perfect square, not a perfect square at all? What if I had x squared plus 12x, but instead of 36, I had minus 13? That is not a perfect square. It doesn't fit the pattern. But we could turn it into a perfect square and use that to find the roots. Okay? So it's just a process of steps. We set it equal to 0. Now, this number is wrong. I need 36. But I don't have it, so I'm going to move this to the other side. So I get x squared plus 12x, and I'm going to leave a little gap, equals, if I add 13, and I add 13, I get a 13 over there. So, I know what number needs to go in there. Half of 12 is 6. 6 squared is 36. Well, this equation represents a balance, like a scale you might see in a physics class. And if I just all of a sudden add 36 to one side, it's going to be unbalanced. So I need to add the same 36 on the other side. So I'm going to add 36 over here. So now I have x, well, I can factor this into x plus 6 to the second equals 49. And because it's a perfect square, I'm allowed to square root both sides. And the square root cancels the square, and I get x plus 6 equals, so close. It's kind of 7. Well, are there two numbers that you can square and get 49? 7's one of them, or negative 7 is the other one. So the rule is whenever you square root a variable to the second power, you always get plus or minus. So now I have x plus 6 equals plus or minus 7. I subtract 6, and x equals, well, I have two answers. What are they? 7 minus 6 is 1. What's the other one? Negative 7 minus 6 is negative 13. So this graph crosses the x-axis at 1 and at negative 13. So let me show you another one. X squared, let's do minus 10x plus 16. And I want to know, when does this equation equal 0? Which means, what are the roots? So looking at this, is this a perfect square? No. What do I need in order to get a perfect square? So I look at the middle term. What is half of the middle term? Negative 5. And then negative 5 times negative 5 is positive 25, and I have a 16. So I'm going to do what is called complete the square. I'm going to move this over. X squared minus 10x equals negative 16. And what number completes the square? Plus 25. But if I add 25 to one side, I have to add 25 to the other. And I get x. Well, what is the perfect square? What number goes in here? Minus 5 equals negative 16 plus 25 is 9. And I square root both sides. And I get x minus 5 equals, don't forget the rule, plus or minus 3. And then I add 5. So x equals 3 plus 5 is 8. Negative 3 plus 5 is 2. So I could have factored the original to get the answer. So if I look back up here, are there two numbers that multiply to be 16 and add to be negative 10? Minus 2 and minus 8. Oh, well, one of those needs to be a 2. So negative 8 minus 2 is negative 10. So my roots would be 8 and 2. Well, if it's factorable, why do I even bother completing the square? And the answer is completing the square always works, every time. But factoring doesn't work as often. So we're going to do completing the square on some easy problems, and then we'll do complete the square on the more difficult ones. Let's try another one. No, that won't work. Is that a perfect square? It's on one of those. Nice try. Is this a perfect square? If I cut the 6 in half and I get 3 and I square it, I get 9. So no, it's not a perfect square. So I'll move the 18 over. X squared plus 6x equals 18. What number goes in this place? Take half of the middle, which is 3, square it, and I get 9. So plus 9, plus 9. Oh boy, that's not going to work. Wait a minute. Yeah, 18 is not going to work. How about 27? Okay. What is my perfect square this time? What goes in here? It's always half of the middle term. So it's plus 3. And this is 36. I square root, and I square root. X plus 3 equals plus or minus 6. So I'm going to subtract 3. And I get 6 minus 3 is 3. Negative 6 minus 3 is negative 9. And those are my roots. So your assignment tonight is to do problems 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yeah. Did I not do one in here? Oh.